Hello guys, Ryan Ho back in the video. Today I want to talk about aesthetic monster. This is the Nicehck NX7 Mark IV. It's a pretty mouthful of a thing, but this is a 7-driver IEM with a stabilized wood. And basically, you see the shell is just honestly very gorgeous. This is probably one of the kind of nicest looking IEMs I've ever seen. And the stabilized wood is basically using wood mixed with the resin to give you this nice look. I mean, I think it looks just really unique. And then it has this kind of aluminum type of outside that looks like gold that kind of just encases it. I feel like it just adds to the kind of aesthetic of this kind of IEM. And then on top of that, it has a silver plated cable that's just honestly really shiny. I feel like it fits really well with aesthetic. And I feel like overall, this just looks really, really, really premium for its price. And then on the back, you can kind of see this IEM is see-through, so you kind of see the inside, and you can confirm, all the drivers that it has in there as well, as you can see into it. So this is a really, really interesting IEM. So this thing has 7 drivers into a very small package, honestly. And the 7 drivers it has, it's in its name NX7, but it has 2 dynamic drivers playing the bass and sub bass, 4 BA drivers playing the mid-range, and then it has a piezo driver playing the treble. And then the other thing is, the aesthetics and the driver type, it also has swappable tips in here as well. So if you kind of go under this, you can actually twist these off, which is just like crazy that you can even do that. And you can put on different tips, and these will kind of change the tuning of it. So really you have different customization options available for this as well. So, if you had to guess how much this cost with all these kind of, unique features, 7 drivers, how much do you think it cost? It actually costs $110 or $109.99, which is pretty crazy, honestly. Like, I didn't even believe it when I saw it. I was like, this is that price for all that it gives you is pretty incredible. And you can actually even get it for cheaper. I think it's on sale as well. So I think for its price, it's definitely a high value product for definitely the specs and everything it comes with. Now, let's kind of dive deeper into the details and kind of look at this. But, the actual case it comes with too is this nice kind of blue case right here. So it has this like really plushy, like leatherette type of look and this nice soft like touch to it. So it does really feels very, very nice. It's definitely like much different from honestly other stuff you get. So I feel like everything that you get with this accessory wise is honestly top tier. You get a bunch of tips too. So you get these kind of dark tips, which give it a little bit more of a warmer signature. The treble doesn't come out as much. And these white tips definitely have a little bit more of a treble emphasis on them. And you get a lot of different sizes, as you can see. And then I also have, the one that's actually on there. So you get a ton of tips with this. So really, you're not lacking in aesthetics or accessories on this one. So it comes with 3 tips, right? So it comes with the gold ones default. Then you have the red ones, and then you have the black ones. So essentially the black ones are the warmest sounding or the least treble intensive one. And I think they have the most most neutral type of sound, I guess you can say. I think it's their best kind of sounding ones. So I went with the black ones. The gold ones have a little bit more treble, and the mid-range gets pushed forward a little bit more. And then the red ones have the most amount of treble, which kind of emphasizes the mid-range and the treble even more. So really, I think the black ones are definitely the most fun sounding, bassy, kind of warm and smooth type of sound that I personally like. But you can, try the different ones to see which combination you like. But I'll be reviewing them with the black ones, right? So how does the Nicehck NX7 sound, right? So really it has a nice kind of warm bass. So essentially, it kind of has a little bit of emphasis in the kind of 250, starting from the 300 hertz bass. I think a lot of people actually like this about it because, for a lot of people, if the bass, a lot of people like the Harman target, which doesn't really have much bass there. Most of the bass starts around like 200, and it can kind of come across a little bit lean when it comes to the drum notes and kind of harder hitting type of sounds up there. And so when you have a little bit more bass up there, you kind of have a little bit more of that kind of fun, thumpy type of sound. And I think this definitely has that, especially with its dual kind of dynamic drivers in there. This thing definitely punches hard, and there's a lot of quantity of bass, as well as a nice kind of texture. So you're definitely not going to be missing the bass with this. I think the bass is definitely one of the highlights of this IEM. Now, the other thing that you get with this IEM is a pretty solid mid-range. Like the mid-range is pretty much perfect. You can kind of see it, but you're gonna get really nice forward vocals. Your kind of male or female vocals are gonna be very present. They're not gonna sound far away or distant. So I think that is the best part about it. So I think you're getting pretty much the best mid-range with this. I didn't really detect anything weird because you have 7 drivers, which is a lot of drivers, but I feel like they did a good job in tuning and making them sound very coherent with each other, playing really together with those 7 drivers. So I feel like it did really well. And of course you got those BA drivers also giving a lot of detail as well there. So really this IEM is not lacking in technicalities. It's not lacking in sub bass. You can hear the deep bass. It's not lacking in bass quantity either. That's really and fun sounding IEM. So then the treble is the area where, some people like more treble, some people like less treble. I feel like the treble this is just perfectly smooth. Like you're never going to have any issues with, the treble being too sharp, being fatiguing or annoying. I didn't get any of that with this one. I think the treble is tuned very kind of warm, so you're never going to have an issue. Now, some people like a little bit more emphasis up there if they want a little bit more detail, but I feel like this is a very nice middle ground, especially the younger you are. Personally, you're probably going to like this treble more as you get, I feel like, a little bit older and you want a little bit more of that, I guess, neutral or more emphasized treble type of look. Then you might want something more. But honestly, this definitely has that kind of very kind of bassy, warm, kind of smooth sound. So this is, like I said, this is a very fun sounding IEM. And really, I think that kind of summarizes it, really. Like, I feel like the driver type of 7 different ones, so it's like a multi-driver IEM. The dynamic drivers especially do really well playing bass and giving you that feeling of bass. You can feel the air move, the dynamics. That's why they like using dynamic drivers down there. This uses 2 of them, which really emphasizes kind of the feeling of bass, and I feel like it balances the deep sub bass notes with the kind of mid bass notes as well. So really, I think it does a fantastic job. And then, like I said, BA drivers are really good at mid range. They're basically able to move really quickly with less distortion and have really high precise sound quality. I feel like it does that really well. And then for the treble, they have the piezo driver, which really is really special. It's, I feel like it sounds very different from the one I heard last time, which was in the Kiwi ears. I don't hear any of that like sibilance really from one. It's very like a smooth sounding, but very still lightning quick and detailed sounding type of sound. But like I said, it's not like really a treble emphasized IEM in my opinion. So you get all the detail without really any of that harshness, which is really good. The next thing I want to talk about is actually gaming performance or soundstage and imaging really. That's kind of how I test it. But when it comes to soundstage and imaging, I found this to be honestly pretty good. I would say the imaging, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Very usable for gaming. You can definitely tell the directions of everything. Had no issues. I would say, if something sounds in the center, it sounds just slightly off the center, like to the side a little bit more than just directly in the center, but it's honestly pretty good and had no issues playing Valorant, which is my main game. So the imaging on this is very good. A lot of people don't know how to test imaging. Like you kind of have to watch something. You need both visual and sound to kind of confirm how good the imaging is. You can't just listen to music, because listening to music, you don't really know where the thing is actually in 3D space because you can't confirm it with your eyes. That's why playing games is pretty much a good idea to confirm how good something is at imaging, in my opinion. Now, the other thing is soundstage. So the soundstage on this is pretty normal. I mean, it's an IEM, so it's inside your ear. It's not gonna sound, overly big, wide, but it's adequate, honestly. So the soundstage is pretty decent. The imaging is pretty good. No problem with the gaming. So really, this is a pretty fantastic IEM. It really doesn't have that many weaknesses. I feel like the only thing that someone might not like is maybe they don't like as much bass as it has, or maybe they want a little bit more treble. So I did do a little comparison for you guys. So right here we have what people call the EM6L by SimGot. This is pretty much, a lot of people's favorite IEM from last year that, it has a multi-driver IEM setup as well. And, it has dynamic drivers playing the bass, and then it has kind of BA drivers playing the mid-range and the treble. So it's another multi-driver IEM at the same price point. So I feel like it's a pretty good comparison to put next to the kind of the Nicehck NX7, dude, the name is like very interesting. I don't know if it's the most memorable name, but EM6L is also not a very memorable name either. Just a lot of letters. But anyways, in comparison for these two, really, I think if you want more bass and a smoother type of sound, I think the Nicehck really kind of edges it out in that way. It really has just a better, more fun type of sound, more bassy, and the treble never comes across overly forward. While I do think the SimGot is a little bit leaner in the bass, some people like that. It's more, I guess, Harman Target-ish overall in its tuning. So if you're looking for that, then the SimGot is a little bit more like that, but the bass is less kind of emphasized, less forward, less quantity. And then the treble is a little bit more, I guess you can hear a little bit more of those notes up there, so you might like that. But sometimes in some music, it might get just slightly harsh a little bit. So it's not, necessarily the most smoothest thing out there. But I feel like these two at the price point really, really are fantastic IEMs. One being more kind of fun and bassy, the other one being more, I guess, more kind of Harman Target. So it really depends on, what type of tuning you are looking for. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys. Please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. I think this is a fantastic sounding IEM, but I really do think the looks is the thing that really kind of takes the cake for me for this one. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.